What is going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today I'm here to give you a tour of my personal desk setup that is brand new for this year, as well as just like the office portion and the upper level of my office loft. So you guys have probably seen a lot of videos of the entire process and progression of this space by now, because it has almost been an entire year in the making. The first time that I stepped in this space with the realtor was in about March, and by the time I got the keys, it was around July, and then it went through this whole renovation process that took super long. But here we are, and today I'm going to be showing you what is on my desk setup, because as you guys might know, half the reason why we're even able to buy this space is probably because of our desk setup videos that you guys have really liked over the years. This area is like the upper terrace of the loft space, and when I was looking around for offices, this was like a key feature that I really wanted, but because I live in a small city, there really weren't that many options that allowed for a work-live option and also had the space for 4 desks. So the reason why I like this is because you can literally look over to the entire space and have your desks up here just doing some video editing, but the open feeling and open concept of a space that is not like exactly huge at about 1,040 square feet just makes it feel really nice. And with any unit that has stairs that go from the first to second level, it gives the illusion that it is much larger than it actually is. If you guys would like to win one item from this video, just make sure you follow me over on Instagram at justin.tsc, subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment down below with your favorite touch of this office, whether it is like a tech element or a piece of decor. And I'll be picking a winner when this video hits 4,000 likes down in the comment section below, and I'll DM a winner directly on Instagram. So I'm gonna start by talking about my personal desk and the furniture that we went with upstairs, as well as the organization cabinet back here with the Husky shelf and all the stuff that is inside of it, how it works, where the power is, and also this little custom addition that we added, and just how we made this kind of office square into an effective space for up to 4 people to work at one time, connecting all the technology, the networking, and all that stuff together. So usually it is 2 to 3 people working here on an everyday basis, and occasionally we'll have 4. So I do kind of jump around between my main desk and also another one with my laptop, maybe in a standing setup. And what I really like about having an upper level that is dedicated just to having computers and your desks, as well as some storage, is that I'm able to keep the camera gear just downstairs where we usually film, because I've been working from home for pretty much my entire YouTube career, and I would always have like camera equipment all over the place, whether it was the kitchen, the living room, the office, the bedroom even. And so now we're really able to separate that and have a much more efficient workflow to come to every day. I'm also going to talk a little bit about some of the lighting that I use in the office, and we've changed everything over to Nanlite, which is the best lighting equipment for that price range that I've tried so far. It is just so well put together. The accessories they sent are amazing, and they just really hooked it up. And I'm also going to show you the den office that is at the lower level in the back of the place, because that is where we film a lot of our fixed set videos from now on, and it is just like an easy place to just go to anytime, start the cameras, and the settings are going to be same, because the lighting does change a lot. Natural light is amazing to work with, and at times it can be really good, but when lighting isn't good, you want to just be able to shift over to a set that works every single time. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this, and let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is my desk setup, and I feel like this is like very different from some of the setups that you've seen me use. I've traditionally had like a white desk with a monitor setup with a desktop computer, and I haven't really used an iMac as a main computer since I was living in my parents' house. But I picked up a couple iMac Pros a couple years back, and whenever I had like friends coming in town or editors, they would just use the iMacs, and I decided that I was going to keep the main desk setup in my master bedroom of the condo, and whenever I work on weekends or edit in the evening, I would at least have the same setup as before and just bring the drives back and forth. But for the office itself, I have the 10-core iMac Pro from 2017 with upgraded RAM, but otherwise it isn't really a high-spec model. But whenever I'm doing like DaVinci Resolve for like color grading or Final Cut Pro 10, it is able to handle quite well. But I am really excited for Apple's new M1X or M2 iMac Pros that are going to be coming out this year, and those should be very powerful, and the bezel will hopefully be smaller as well. But talking about the desk setup itself, The furniture, as I mentioned, is from ERGONOFIS. They're a Canadian company, which makes a lot of sense because we are based in Canada as well. And it is actually made in Montreal, a real walnut finish. And it comes in walnut. It also comes in a birch, a light oak color. They also make it in just like the standard white, black, gray, and your favorite colors. So if you're looking for a certain type of standing desk or desk in general, they probably have you covered. And if you guys want $50 off, I have a coupon code down below and a link. But yeah, these are adjustable standing desks, and the size that I went with for this upper space is a 24 by 48, so a 2x4 desk, which is a good size. And as you can see, it is a little bit on the compact side, but because we wanted to fit 4 up here and having the neat cabinet, I feel like it's nice to have a setup where you have a desk and then you have a secondary piece to put like your laptop, accessories, and you can run the wires. And this sort of hides the bird's nest of cables that I have down there to a degree, because we're still working on finalizing the setup before we tie up all the cables to the desk. Before I show you the next thing though, I want to give a huge thanks to the sponsor of the channel, Motion VFX, and their Final Cut Pro plugins that are drag and drop and very easy to use. In fact, all the text that you guys have seen in this video are from Motion VFX, and we've used it on their videos for many years now. They have a whole collection of plugins, so I definitely encourage you to check out the website to go through and see which ones can suit your video style, because they're all just so easy to use. Over 160 of their plugins are also already optimized for M1, so if you get a new computer, you could really take advantage of it. So the first effect that you've probably seen on the channel for a while now is M callouts, and it gives you these motion track text boxes with a whole variety of designs, and over 50 of them are included in each pack, and they have different theme packs from the original one, the simple ones, as well as the text style ones. But the best part about it is that it is super easy to motion track, and typically you have to do like keyframes or a long process of getting text to stay on an object, but in this case it is literally just a few steps, so I'm going to show you right now. So the first step is to go ahead and pick the one that you want and drag it on top of the clip that you'd like to place it. It will then have a tracking box, and you want to find an area of the object that has a nice level of contrast, because then it is able to figure out when it's moving. Once you've selected a good area you'd like your text to track to, just click the button and it will do it frame by frame on its own. And from there, you can also customize all of the things in the text box, as well as the color, the font, the line opacity, and everything. The next one is Untitled Cinematic 2, and this is a pack that gives you a ton of different effects and animated text options that are great openers for YouTube videos or movies. The pack comes with 50 of them, and it is super easy to use. Once again, just drag and drop after you found the one that you would like. You change the text on it, you can even edit the font and everything, and from there it gives you a nice and professional look. I'm definitely trying to always increase the production value of the videos and add more effects and try to make the editing a little bit better, but with such a busy workload that is tough to keep up with on its own, these effects really do come in handy. If you guys want to go ahead and check the effects and plugins for yourself, there are hundreds of them on the Motion VFX site, so just check that link down in the description section below and use the code Justin for 15% off. You may have seen in a PC video, we did kind of shift around the setup a little bit, and we were able to just like easily rotate everything, and I like the versatility of being able to use different sets. So starting from like the left to right, I have a Grove Made cup holder, and the walnut actually matches this very, very well, which is super satisfying. So we've got that, a candle that I bought online that I guess was a little bit overpriced, and then we have all the storage that is just kind of laid out on this IKEA mat. It's about $30. It works super well. You can have your paper and notes underneath. Yeah, you have all of these Samsung T7s, which is what I edit my videos on. And whenever I'm done editing at the end of the day, I'll put it into a carry case and take it home in case I want to edit on the weekend or in the evening. When it comes to like what is in the center of the desk, so I have my two essentials. This right here is one of the most useful tools, and that is the Blackmagic panel. This one is the micro one. It is the smallest one in their lineup. The one I have at home is the mini one, which has some more dials and stuff for red raw control. But for video editing in DaVinci Resolve, this just makes things much faster, even as a beginner user like myself. You have all of your wheels right here, your adjustments, your offsets. All of the dials up here are used quite often, and it doesn't need any external power, so just plug it in through USB Type-C and you're good to go. Other than that, I've got the keyboard that came with the iMac Pro, and last but not least, my favorite mouse of all time, the Logitech MX Master 3, which is just super ergonomic. It matches well. It's got a great scroll wheel and horizontal dial as well, which is made out of metal. But Yeah, overall, that is pretty much all I can fit on my desk. But to be totally honest with you, I've kind of been shifting this main desk setup between this side and that side because when someone needs to access all the camera equipment, it does kind of become the high traffic area. So I've kind of found that corner over there to be quite nice. And I also have a laptop that I do like emails and stuff when I'm just maybe walking around the loft or even just using the desk in a standing position just to get something done quickly. So yeah, these desks are obviously the centerpiece of the space. I think they look incredible. The quality's been really good. I also noticed that the durability is quite nice as well. I accidentally put like a warm coffee cup and it left a bit of a watermark, but after a few hours, it disappeared. So for a desk of this price, you really expect that the quality is top notch. And I can definitely tell you that both on a looks and durability side, ERGONOFIS has done a really good job. So now that we're taking a look at the main desk that I spend most of my time on and where I edit the videos, I want to show you guys the standing function. And I usually have my main desk where I'm doing the video editing that we just showed you. And for the most part, I spend a lot of the time there, but because there's a lot of like editing equipment, the color panel and everything, I also have a laptop for on-the-go work. And for the most part, I do like emails, Notion, and just general administrative stuff on my laptop. So you don't really need a complex setup. You can just take it with you anywhere. So it's nice that when my desk gets a little bit cluttered, there's usually one or two like open desks when there's nobody visiting or helping out with videos that week. So I just come over here and with the press of a button, this desk is able to raise to a standing height. And there's also two preset options as well. So if you're using this desk every day, you can just lock it at a position, press the button, and it will go right away. So I'd say about 5 or 6 years ago, I got my first Herman Miller chair, and at the time, I felt like the cost to spend on one of these was just absolutely crazy and made no sense at all. But after I sat on it and realized how much time I was spending sitting down without a standing desk, I can tell you that after all these years of sitting on that same chair, I'm still totally happy with it. The durability and everything stays exactly the same, especially with this type of pellicle material on the Herman Miller AERON. So yeah, we ordered 4 of these up here, and they have the chrome base, which I felt like was a must-have because these are chairs that we're going to be using for as long as this company exists. They're just that durable, and the style has pretty much stayed the same. This is like the updated model that they did a couple years ago, but super comfortable, super adjustable. Also went with the adjustable armrest, which is nice. And otherwise, I really don't have any complaints. I really like them, and everybody in the office has one of these to sit on. And I feel like if you've been to any office or like law firm, you'll probably notice that the entire boardroom also likes to use these chairs. So one of the pieces that I'm most excited to show you guys is the Husky cabinet, and that is because it is where all the equipment is like set up and organized. And this was actually recommended by my friend Edward Lee. He did a video showing that, and when I saw it, I was like, I gotta have that. It's all like wired for camera equipment to charge, and you've got a power brick on this side. It was just too perfect, and the price point in America comes in under $1,000. So yeah, when I posted it, I got a lot of questions as well, similar to the way I reacted when I first saw it, but it makes total sense. It is just so durable, and in fact, it came in at over 500 pounds, so you're gonna need a lot of help if there's no elevator like we had. Here we have all of the lenses and the large cameras, and on the sliding cabinet, you also have a bit of an open door that allows you to usually charge like power tools, but in our case, we're just charging like the camera batteries down there and storing all the charged ones right here. There's also all these power outlets back here, which is great. And they also added a power outlet that is exposed on this side. This cabinet actually isn't part of the unit. My woodworker Matt, who did all of the other millworking and the bulkhead with walnut, he actually built this custom thing for us. We just told him we needed somewhere to house the router. This router is actually one from LYNKSYS, and if you guys remember in one of my last videos, I had this like Amplify Alien router, and a lot of you guys commented which router is that, because it was able to show the live status of your internet, which devices are connected, the speed they're getting, and just the overall health. But I do have to tell you, as soon as I finished filming that video, that thing broke and it was completely bricked. I couldn't even factory reset it. It was just out of the blue. One day the internet stopped working, and so for the price that I paid for that, I would say you shouldn't go and buy it as good as it looks. So this right here is one from LYNKSYS. It's worked very well. It's been super fast. The range has actually been better than the Amplify Alien, which is already a router that is able to fill an entire house, but it has all of the Wi-Fi 6 technologies, and especially if you have like a new phone or a new computer that supports Wi-Fi 6, you can really take advantage of that. The speed that we're getting in the office when it comes to the internet is about 1,000 down and 150 up, which is the fastest that I can currently get in this building and also in the place I live. Eventually, we're hoping to get gigabit up and down, but for now, internet has been really solid and everything is hardwired to the computers up here. So eventually when we add like a storage solution, a NAS system, or an editing bay, then it can all be connected through wire, which is really good. Down there, I also got a bit of water, and then we also have some of the smart home stuff, such as the Philips Hue, the Sonos, and all that just hidden back there. So Matt did a really good job with this like quick build, and we just threw the handle that was originally on the side of the Husky over there. On the top here, you have like a workbench set up, and what is cool is that it is actually able to flip up, and you have access to everything in this level. So you can have like some general tools, bits and pieces there. I do wish that the top one was a drawer as well, because I usually like to leave stuff on the top here, and so you have to make sure it's clear to access, and everything is able to lock up with just 2 locks. I have no complaints of this, aside from the fact that it weighs a lot. It is solid steel. Behind me, I also have this neon light, which was done by Fuse Neon, based out of Toronto. I originally got it for my podcast set. It looks really good here. And so we have that plugged in. It's set to a timer every single day, from 9:30 to 6:30. It is on. That just kind of floats on the wall. We have some 3M command strips. That way there's no visible screws, and it's been holding up. And some of the things that I also had the electrician do was add outlets all along the walls for the standing desks, but we also had one added right here just for any like emergency charging access if we just have to have like a phone charged up, a laptop. But for the most part, try to keep all of the power contained inside this Husky unit and just try to get the cables out of the way as much as possible.
Just wanted me to explain this because I did the organization here. I'm the OCD of the office, so figured let's run through this and see what we got in here. Like Justin said, this is awesome that it comes up and down, but it also kind of sucks because there's always stuff left on top here like this. But in here we've got some hardware, lens cleaning, and some cables, so nothing too crazy in there. Under here we've got some power supply for all the cameras, and then on top we just have cameras for display now. In the top drawer here we have all the accessories for the red, like monitors, handles, an iPad, and cards, media, anything you need for that. We have smaller items in here. We have all our plates in there. We have all our audio equipment, which we're using right now, in here. This one is empty. This one has all our caps, step-up rings, and filters. And this bottom one has usually has the R5 and the C7. You just have Canon stuff in there. Moving over to the bottom one, we've got all the lenses in here. Usually we have the 2 reds in here as well. Going up, we've got an empty drawer there. Here we've got our power cables for the reds and laptop chargers as well. And here we have a keyboard for some reason, I'm not quite sure why. Moving along to here, we are trying to use the power for here to charge all the batteries. So we've got cables routed down to here, so we've got our V-mounts for the reds charging down there. We've got an extra light here, and then we've got our chargers for the Canon, the Sony, and anything else in here. I like to label everything because Justin likes to leave things around the office, so I make sure that if we find it, we know where the hell it goes. So all the batteries are labeled, all the cables are tied up with Velcro ties permanently on them, so those can also be coiled up and thrown back. Yeah, it's basically just picking up and making sure things are organized when Justin gets access to it and leaves it out here. So we try and put it in here, leave it in here, and not lose anything.
So before we take a look at my desk, just a reference for the layout, it is about 11 feet by 11 feet up here. We have 4 desks that are all 24 by 48, which is a 2x4, and everybody also has their own neat cabinet just to put some stuff in there. And in terms of what we have on the side here, I'm thinking like a wireless charger, headphone stands, a speaker for up here, all goes very well together. So now that we've taken a look at my desk and also the storage unit, I'm sure a lot of you guys who haven't seen the previous video are wondering what is in that French door. And as nice as it would be to be like a hidden office or storage unit or whatever it is actually the bathroom, which we ended up turning into a storage unit, which is why the B-roll is going to be from before. So originally when I bought this place, it actually had a shower right here, and then it had a kind of open concept bathroom where if you're coming up the stairs at the right angle, you can see somebody sitting on the toilet. It had a piece of plexiglass. It was just like the weirdest, dumbest design I've ever seen. So took it all out and we made the shower a little bit bigger instead of having the bathtub, and that was mainly just for resale's sake. So when the time comes, it will be a nice bathroom up here, and the bed and all that will just go where they're supposed to go. But for now, because there's 4 workstations, nobody's really going to the bathroom up here because there's another bathroom, toilet, and shower downstairs that is just makes much more sense. But if you guys really want to see what's inside these French doors, it just kind of slides off, and there you have like my Formula 1 simulator, sound panels, printers, a toaster, and just anything that we don't want to see in the general space ends up going in here. The only other thing to kind of mention is that when it comes to hardware, this is of course Buster and Punch. You guys have seen that around the space and also in the kitchen of my house. And this track is actually one that I found online because there's only like 2.5 inches of space above the door. And so you had to find like a low profile track system. And this one was one that I came across, and it works very well. But now that we've taken a look at it upstairs, let's go ahead and show you guys the den area of this place, which I would almost consider part of the general main office as well, and also some of the lighting equipment that we've been using over the past few months. So here we are in the den of the office, and this is kind of like a flex space that was either used for storage or a spot to have your TV, because as you guys might have seen in the series, and I mentioned a ton of times, the living room had a fireplace in the middle, so for the most part you weren't really able to have like a home theater, so the previous owners actually had a TV back there. The other thing was that the shape of the wall was also a bit strange. It kind of had like this up and down kind of thing. So I had some custom millwork made to my specs from an image that I found on Instagram, and just decided to have some cabinets and storage there, as well as shelving with slats to be able to have some props and give a bit of a nice background. Honestly, when it comes to the set, I feel like it is okay, but I still prefer to film in the outside area of the place. I may actually paint the slats black in the future, but for now I feel like keeping it like the raw material of wood is just a good change from the rest of the aesthetic. Some of the things that I also had to do with this space is add a desk. Of course, this is an IKEA one. It winds up and down, so if we want to stand or sit, we can do that. It definitely isn't the largest. It could fit a double-sized bed if it needed to as a spare bedroom, but otherwise, the lighting is literally right here. There's just like sound panels all along the wall because there is quite a bit of echo. We have them going along the ceiling as well. I honestly just grabbed like one from Acoustic Panels Canada. I don't know how good they actually are, but it does seem to make a difference. So whenever we need like a fixed set, or if we're filming at night and don't have any natural light left, then this is one that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this like kind of den area and what we should do with it. I also thought of putting the Formula 1 simulator here, but I figured at least having another functional set would make a lot of sense. When it comes to moving to a dedicated studio, after many years of filming at home, one of the most important things that we had to keep in mind was lighting. And with 1,000 square foot, as well as like an open loft concept, there was room for a ton of lights. So Nanlite was actually very nice and sent a ton of different items from their lineup that all seem to have a specific use case, and we have used it in all of our videos since moving into this office space. I've had Aperture ones in the past, but honestly, after using Nanlite, I find the build quality to be better, the lighting effects and everything to be really nice, and just the design and small touches are very functional. So the primary lights that we have are the Nanlite Forza line. There's the 60 ones that are just in the back and are relatively small. They're super compact and you can take them literally anywhere, as well as the Forza 200s, the 300s, and the 500s. And depending on the amount of power you need, these lights all have a specific use. So I have a key light right here, and also one in the open space where we just have it mounted in the ceiling, and it is a nice powerful light that is able to illuminate an entire space. We also film some videos at night as well, so having it as an overhead with a very large dome, we're able to get these really cool effects in these IGTV videos that you guys might have seen over on Instagram. So the Forza series comes in two different options. There's the daylight balance of 5600 Kelvin, as well as bicolor models that give you the range of 2700 to 5600. They're dimmable from 0 to 100%, and they have a CRI color accuracy of 98. And for those who don't know what that is, it is essentially the light quality measurement of just how accurate the colors are based on the color temperature promise. And when it comes to video, the reason why we always turn off all of the interior lights and use specific video lights like the Forzas is because interior lights are meant to just like light up the space, and generally speaking the CRI is 90 and under for anything that is in the higher end, but a lot of them are even 80 and under, which means the light quality is just not that good for filming. So with these lights you can go ahead and add like a light modifier such as a softbox or like a dome setup. You could also have like a lantern, just depending on the type of lighting that you need. In some cases we don't even use a dome and just have it bounce off the ceiling, but specifically when it comes to filming, one of the most popular setups is going to be using a softbox and possibly using a grid as well if you want like that nice like contrasted look that we have right now. The NAND lights also have light modes such as storm flash, like TV flicker, and faulty bulbs, so you can have like cool lighting effects. Personally, I don't really use those, I just keep it as is, and as a light itself, it is the favorite one that I've ever checked out. It also has like a really nice and clean design with like the box shape and the carbon fiber finish on the outside, and the entire lineup just goes together very nicely. I also really like the fact that it includes a hook for the power box, the control panel, so I can just have like the controls and the dials on the bottom of the C-stand, kind of serving as a counterweight as opposed to having all the controls on the top of the light. So if I like raise it up to 10 feet, I don't have to like lower it every single time to change some of the settings and brightness. And that is one touch that I noticed Nanlite has done especially well in. If you guys have seen our past videos with the LED tubes, those are also great accessories that we use all the time in like a more compact setting. They can play like the whole RGB spectrum as well as the 2700 to 5600 Kelvin white range. So as you guys probably tell by now, I love Nanlite products. We're not sponsored by them, but they did really hook us up with a lot of equipment for the entire office. So if you're into film and you're trying to build up your own studio, I definitely recommend checking their products, and the link is going to be down below. So before we wrap up this video, I sort of have like a one last thing, and that is a Samsung SERO TV that I just picked up for the upstairs area of the office space. And I have a thing for like Samsung's strange TV form factors. I mean, like the Samsung Serif one was one that I picked up on Amazon and didn't really use except for in one video. And when it was used, it was actually pretty nice and fit in perfectly for that episode, but otherwise, these kind of products are more for design. They're a little bit strange, and most people aren't going to need a TV that connects to your phone and can display video in vertical and only works on a Samsung device. So yeah, this is a Samsung SERO TV, and the story behind this was just kind of like remembered this product the other day, and there's a TV shop nearby, so sent them a message and said, if you guys want to sell me the floor model for like $1,200 Canadian, which is like, I think a third of what it came out at in its original price, I'll go and buy it right away. So a couple minutes later, we all went over and the TV is in the office. And honestly, I don't regret buying it. It is a perfect size for this upstairs level. It is 43 inches with a 4K resolution, a QLED panel. But the reason why I got it is because you can just tap your Samsung phone to it and everything actually plays on the TV itself live, and it all works very well. But the key feature with this is that it is able to go between vertical and horizontal automatically or through the remote as well. So for example, if I want to watch like a full-size YouTube video, I can just go to the YouTube app and start playing it, and as I rotate my phone horizontally, the TV will automatically do that as well. So there you go, it is at a perfect height, so it doesn't go over the kind of balcony level, and I can still look over and everything from all the desks. And I think for team meetings, being able to AirPlay as well is very handy. But just like watch sports up here, I love it. And if I want to just go on like TikTok, for example, then it will automatically go back into the vertical position. So yeah, you have the view right here, and I'm playing TikTok and just scrolling through on the big screen, which not many TVs on the market have this capability. The other thing is that it also has all of the smart apps that are built in. So if you want to watch like Netflix, YouTube, and all that kind of stuff, it is all there. The other nice touch is that this TV has a 60-watt speaker. It is a 4.1 channel one. So the sound actually comes out of the bottom. All the hinges and mechanisms look very clean. So even if I'm downstairs looking up, this TV is not exactly an eyesore. All the cables are well hidden. in and just goes straight to the wall. So yeah, this is a Samsung SERO TV from last year, and I'm pretty sure nobody really needs this, but if you're looking for like a cool toy, or you watch a ton of TikToks, then this might be something to check out. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.